Alright, and welcome back to another hacking tutorial from Stealth Data 0. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can upgrade a command shell to a fully functional Meterpreter shell. So this is a command shell outside of Metasploit, because with Metasploit you can simply use a post model to upgrade the command shell. But say you're using something like a netcat backdoor or a Python backdoor, or one of the backdoors that I showed you how to code that only gives you a command shell, because you just can't bypass the antivirus. So what we're going to be using is my netcat backdoor, and it's a very simple backdoor written in batch. And what it does is give you persistent access, undetectable. So Windows Defender is on, and you will need a program called Unicorn. All these links will be in the description below. So if we go over here, I'm going to go ahead and start the session off with a shell, my netcat shell. So I'm going to go ahead and activate my backdoor just by clicking the batch session. And let's say my netcat session dies. All I have to do is start a listener. And because my netcat backdoor is in a loop, it's going to keep giving me connections no matter what. So we will have persistence that way. And the main thing to do when you get in a system is get a foothold and get persistence. So we don't have to worry about our shell dying here and losing complete access unless the process is killed or the backdoor is discovered. Okay, so let's go ahead and fire up Unicorn. You can check out the video on how to install that. It's very simple, very easy. You just pop it on your system and just go ahead and run it. So I'm inside the Unicorn file, and I'm doing a Windows/Meterpreter reverse HTTPS using my internal IP address. You would want to use your public IP address if you're doing this remotely, or the NGRock tunnel IP address if you're doing it with NGRock. Check out my NGRock videos to see how to do Metasploit compatible videos over the WLAN, but this is over the LAN for demo purposes. So we're going to go ahead and generate that shell code. So what this is going to do, if you haven't heard of Unicorn, you definitely need to check it out. It's made by the same people that made Social Engineering Toolkit, TrustedSec, and it's going to create a PowerShell script with the Windows Meterpreter reverse HTTPS payload inside of it, with the L host and L port that I told it to go to. This program generates scripts for Armitage as well, and Cobalt Strike. And of course, anything that's compatible with Metasploit is also compatible with Armitage. So over here we have Metasploit. We did service PostgreSQL start to start Metasploit, and then you can just click your pretty old M or type in MSF console, as we have many times in the past. If I go ahead and hit set, you can see my options for my multi-handler is 192.68 for the L host. You can see the L port and the payload. So you need to go ahead and set all those options like we've done in the past. For example, so like that, and you would set your options, and then use multi/handler to load the handler itself, which we have done in the past many times. Use multi/handler. So we can see that our generator has been our PowerShell code has been generated. And we're going to go ahead and just take this from the Unicorn file. So go to your home file, then go to Unicorn, and we're going to copy that and paste it over here. We're going to delete this old test file, and we're just going to rename this, for simplicity, ps.txt, and you'll see why I do that. Okay, so now that we have all that set up, we can start our Apache server. So I'm going to actually service Apache to start, and that will start your Apache server. And this is just a quick rundown on Unicorn. But yeah, go ahead and definitely check that out if you haven't fully understand it. I know I'm going kind of quick, but it would be a long video if I didn't. Okay, so we have our multi-handler ready and set up for an HTTPS connection. I'm using HTTPS for max evasion. So I'm going to go ahead and hit exploit. In this particular case, since you can't use a stageless payload, I would highly suggest using an encoded stager. So go ahead and check out my encoded stager videos. It's just 3 more settings you add to it. You tell it to set encoding and then set the encoding type and how many times. I'll leave all the links in the description that you'll need to get these tools and understand this process more easily. But what we're doing is gaining a CMD shell, which we have, and we're gaining persistence and a bigger foothold on the system, because that's what you want to do. You want to get in and upgrade your system level, get to system level privileges, own that box, and then move to the next box and make sure you have a steady foothold into the network. That's the most important thing, because once you lose that foothold, you can lose everything. So we're going to go ahead and hit exploit. Now if we go over to my handy dandy cheat sheet, you can see we have a script here that says PowerShell, and then you need to write down this script. Now here you would use your public IP address if you're doing it remotely. If you're using ngrok, you'd use the ngrok link and then slash the file's name. That's very, very, very important that everything is typed the same in the IP address is correct for this to call back to, because what this is going to do is open the file and it's going to download the file and pull it from the server and run it for us, so we don't have to do anything. It's just going to do all of it in one command for us. So let's go ahead and launch that command, and as soon as we do, we will get a Meterpreter shell. We'll see 2 things happen. Okay, so we've seen it pull it down, and you see all these numbers go by. And if you look over here, we're gaining a HTTPS Meterpreter shell from our netcat shell, and as you see all those numbers, which is fine. And if I just quickly go to the PowerShell attack itself, open it up with the text editor, you guys can see that it's encoded PowerShell and an encoded PowerShell script. So that's all this is. It's a PowerShell attack, which could be copied and pasted into a terminal, made into a .bat file, which could be made into an exe, made into a PS1 file that could be made into an exe. PowerShell is a very powerful attack vector, and you can even use it to get an undetectable Meterpreter shell, but we're using netcat in this case, or undetectable shell. Like this one, which we use to gain initial access, which we still have our commands with. We can still do whatever we want. We can still see our files and all of that. And now we have a fully functioning Meterpreter shell. So here you can see all the commands, and of course if you watch my other videos, my post-exploitation videos on Windows, you can see all of the crazy stuff you can do, like kill antivirus, play with the webcam. Here's the get system command. You have to be careful with that. That can get you booted out of a system because of the malicious nature of it. We'll go ahead and try to run it. I highly doubt it'll work. You'll probably have to use my privilege escalation method if it doesn't get our shell killed. Okay, it didn't get our shell killed. That's why we use HTTPS to encrypt our traffic. But yeah, you have a fully functioning and you can see it's the same exact computer that has the netcat shell. Control Z sessions 1.4. 1.4. So there you have it. That's how you upgrade your Meterpreter session or your CMD session to a Meterpreter session quite easily using Unicorn. And we use the netcat backdoor, but again, you could use a Python backdoor that I showed you guys how to code. Your PowerShell scripts that I showed you guys how to code. You can use any of this stuff and it will all work out for you and give you a Meterpreter shell. So hopefully you found the video informative. If you did, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe for more content, and as always, have fun, stay safe, keep hacking, peace out. And just remember about getting in, getting persistence. So we have a pretty persistent connection. Right now we have our netcat shell, so if that dies we can get that right back and then just get another Meterpreter shell back. So we have that established. From here I would probably migrate processes, add some kind of other backdoor for persistent accents, like when the user logs in it sends me a Meterpreter shell. That way if the system is turned off I can get back in, but that's another video. So like I said, as always, have fun, stay safe, keep hacking, peace out.